got up from the table. He got up from the table. He walked around toward the way I had to exit quicker than I got over there. And when I started to walk past him, he pulled me to himself, wrapped his arms around me, and tried to kiss me. And in that moment, I literally died. I could not. I tell you, to this day, I can't remember how I got out of that place. But I remember driving home with all kinds of crazy thoughts and what in the world am I going to do now? And I finally get home, get in the house, get in the bed. I'm going to try to go to sleep. And I get to sleep and get up in the morning. And in the morning, I step into our bathroom and my home phone rings. My mother answers the phone and she says to me, "Wayne, it's Elder Jakes." And I get on that phone. And when I get on that telephone, I can hear water. He is sitting in a bathtub. And in that thing, he says to me, without any hesitation, "There's 3 things I need you to do. The first one is, when I come to Pittsburgh, you're going to be the only person I sleep with. The second one is, you can't sleep with anybody else because I don't want to give my wife anything. And thirdly, I will take care of you the rest of your life."
An indictment against T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes will not enter my presence. He can go and enter the presence of the ones he is currently serving. That is all the Lord said back then in 2014. And
one of the most biggest church scandals by any pastor all time, I truly believe. The most long-running scandal of all time, I believe, by any pastor that has stepped inside the pulpit to represent God and preach the word. They always say, wherever you see smoke, there has to be a fire. Because where would the smoke come from? Accusation, scandal, accusation, scandal, one after another. And this has been going on for decades and decades, 20 years plus for Mr. T.D. Jakes. How does he always seem to get away? Why does the congregation always seem to just sweep it under the rug? And they always treat the victim like he is the one being accused of something. It really amazed me how some people can worship a pastor so much they disregard anything that someone says about them. They're so defensive, like these people are talking about God when they're only crying out, trying to bring to the forefront how they were victimized and used and harassed by this individual, but they get treated like they're the one doing the wrong thing. And then you wonder why so many people get victimized and they never want to come forth. They never want to tell anyone because look how they get treated. And the accuser gets all the sympathy. Oh, they just hating on Mr. T.D. Jakes. They just trying to bring him down for 20 years plus. 20 years plus, the same old song has been sang from countless victim after victim after victim. And if you do your research, viewer, you will find some things that haven't even been spoke on. You will find some things, viewer, that have been thrown under the rug. And then you sit back and you ask yourself, why are these things being covered up? T.D. Jakes is supposed to be a man of God. He is supposed to be mimicking the way Jesus Christ lived his life. He is supposed to be pointing people in the right direction to live righteously. He's not supposed to be at P. Diddy parties. He's not supposed to have his name surrounding homosexual activities. He's not supposed to have his name involved, being accused of sexual assault. And this is the kicker. This is the kicker. It's not against women. It's against men or young men of that time. Now, here's another question that you need to ask yourself. They're saying that these men are lying on TD Jakes, trying to discredit his name, bring his congregation down. But you need to ask yourself, what kind of grown man would lie on another grown man about SAing him? What kind of grown man would lie about that? About another man violating him in that manner? A grown man. That's something for you to think about. So if it wasn't true, then why would these young men come forth and say these things? And another red flag for me, right? This is another red flag. TD Jakes, he don't come out and proclaim his innocence. He goes and tries to take videos off YouTube. He goes and file lawsuits against somebody that already filed a lawsuit on him for sexual assault. He's trying to battle it out in court. That's the one thing that we need to think about and look at here. How he's reacting to all these accusations and scandals. I truly believe that if he was innocent, he wouldn't act that way. He would come forth and first apologize to the congregation because he is a leader of a church. He would apologize to them first and then make a public apology to all his followers around the world and proclaim his innocence, not go to YouTube and try to get videos removed. You know how they talked about Jesus and they accused Jesus of all these hideous things? Jesus proclaimed who he is. I am. I was sent here to do the Lord's work. Whatever you think of me, you think of me. Whatever you want to do to me, you do to me. I'm doing the good Lord's work. TD Jakes, I truly believe that the fortune and the fame really went to his head. He started to really act in his own flesh. TD Jakes' homosexual allegations go back 20 years plus. And if you didn't know, his two stepsons, they're bisexual as well. I mean, just really think about what is going on here. Really think about why was he at a P. Diddy party and all the rumors and allegations surrounding those things, and you know what went on in those places. Why was he there late at night? You, viewer, have to make up in your own mind and really discern what you're looking at. The congregation of the Potter House needs to really step back and see the visual of what they're looking at and stop sweeping things under the rug and really just handle them the way they need to be handled. Not taking videos off of social media platforms, not filing lawsuits. TD Jakes is looking more innocent not than ever. He's looking more innocent not than ever. But you know, we all have a thought and opinion, so just make sure you drop down in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this video. Is he innocent or guilty?
Next, there will be scandals among the high and the mighty. So I saw a row of thrones seated in high positions. Earthquake hit those thrones. They started to shake and people began to fall out of the thrones in public and shameful falls. The Lord said that Bishop T.D. Jakes will have one of the biggest scandals of all time in the Christian church, one of the biggest shaming falls before God finally judges him in taking his life. The Lord said this man is not a straight man. He is not a heterosexual man. His name will be named by the people he has been with. His scandal will involve his sexual orientation, and God says that this is when people will finally see who they have been following with a lot of these pastors and spiritual leaders. So this prophecy came before the other one. This one is September 1st, that the Lord first said that on top of being a false prophet, on top of misleading people, on top of, he called it financial impropriety, which means that there is severe questions about what happens to money in the potter's house. He says that this man is a wolf in sheep's clothing, that this man is a Freemason, and that he is brotherhood. This is what the Lord revealed months ago in the false prophet's prophecy. But now in this live call, God brought out that this man is not interested in women, but is bent towards males. But not only that, has harmed underage youths and boys. And God says that this sex scandal will be named by the people he has been with. The males are going to bring out, he says, proof. The evidence this bishop will be fighting is hard evidence. And God says he will spend considerable time, considerable energy, considerable power, and considerable money to suppress that evidence so that it does not come out in the legal battles that will follow. But God said that we are going into an era where the evidence will get a chance to speak.